because I am not in the chat.
Hey Slayers, what's up? It is your girl Tiana, aka the Swagslayer from Swagslayer.com, creator of all things Swagslayer boxes. And we are coming to you live today with the Swagslayer Talk here on the Swagslayer Fashion YouTube channel and on Swagslayer Facebook Live. I am here with my lovely co-host from the Viva Studios. How are you today?
I am fine. How are you?
I
was just going to say, can you say that 5 times fast? Swagslayer Fashion, Swagslayer Fashion.
I probably could, but I'm going to make enough bloopers on the live today. We'll save that one for another day.
Because I was just like, oh my God. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for joining. I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't even say that fast.
I am having
I would be like
with my tech right now, so that's why I keep looking over here, Slayers, because I'm trying to fix this, but it doesn't want to correct itself. Oh, here we go. Okay, got it.
Are we good?
yes. We got to go.
So how was your weekend?
I had a fabulous weekend. I sat around and did absolutely nothing. So now I'm catching up on Monday.
Yes, that was me. I was down for a couple of days, but I just went and took Sunday because I normally do for self-care or just, just to wind down. So now I'm back at it. We got to get this week. It's going to be on and popping all across the board.
Yes, ma'am. And with this new live show, 1 hour every day at 12:30 Eastern.
Oh,
yes.
So I know, darling.
I'm so excited. So excited. First of all, I'm just so totally stoked that you're here with me for this ride because I know it's great.
Yes. Well, but at least I'm up at this hour.
Yes. And I'm also excited to be bringing knowledge to entrepreneurs everywhere that they can use every hour. Another thing that you can do, Slayers, when you click into this Swagslayer Talk each and every day at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, it's 60 minutes. Go ahead and do whatever task that you need to be getting done for today during this time. There's not often there's going to be something that you need to look at. You really only need to listen. So count this as a 1 hour timer to get yourself a 1 hour task done and in the bag for the day.
Exactly, honey. So if you got to list. If you're a little online source. But you know what? Keep your ears open because you might learn something, child.
Yes. And today we are talking about the Poshmark IPO drop. If you saw the video that I recorded and put on the channel over the weekend, you definitely got the steps to get yourself in order to make sure you're in place and set up to get yourself some stocks from Poshmark. So today we're going to be answering questions live. We're going to be going over some of the 5 things. Well, not some of the 5 things. That makes no sense. We're going to be going over that are important to know about Poshmark. So if you are not a Poshmark ambassador, you were not able to get in as a VIP to purchase the IPO stocks, it's the information you'll need to know. So when the IPO, not the IPO, but when the stock hits the NASDAQ, you yourself will still be able to call your broker or go online and self-broker and get yourself some Poshmark stocks.
Yes. So I get kind of confused. This is where I was kind of confused when I received the email about going into this venture, because what I got out of it was that, okay, you're a Posh ambassador, so there's like a trillion of us, but it made it sound as though only a few would be chosen. And I happened to see on Instagram where someone said, well, I didn't even get an invitation. I didn't get an email or anything. And someone said, well, that's surprising because you've been selling since 2015. So you should have gotten one first or whatever. So I was kind of confused by that. And I was like, well, so what's the dealio?
So what Poshmark put out in their email was, if you are a Posh ambassador before a certain time frame, which I want to say 2017 and 2018, if I remember correctly, that you would receive an email. This is the thing. A lot of people don't check their Poshmark emails. they just scroll past them, delete them, they go to spam, they go to their promotions, and so they never saw it. I get mine. The only reason I knew to go and search for mine is we were on a Saturday night Swagslayer party, and the comments mentioned it, and I was like, what are you talking about? I don't have one. So then that night I had to search for a needle in a haystack to find that email, because if someone hadn't mentioned it in the live chat that night, I wouldn't have known either, and I would have missed it. So they probably just missed it, because Poshmark, it was auto send. It auto sent out to everybody that was a Posh ambassador before the time that they set for you to have been a Posh ambassador. Plus, you had to be in good standing as a Posh ambassador.
Yes, and so now I didn't even, I've only been doing this like a year and a half. So that means I actually started like in 2019.
Okay.
So, but I got all the stuff and then kept getting the stuff to sign up for, Fidelity and all this, that, and the other. So I was like, well, now if I got one, well, why shouldn't she get one? But as you say, she might not have looked in her spam, or anything like that. And they want you to be compliant, your closet has to be, on point, a Poshmark point, and things like that. But I was just happy I got one. So I didn't know, out of all the ambassadors, I mean, is it still saying that only certain ones will be chosen to get the stock, be able to purchase?
So yes, let me explain that. So I just want to correct something I just said. It wasn't if you were a Posh ambassador before 2017 or 18, because that was incorrect. The second email that you got from Fidelity depended on if you were an ambassador before that time. So they sent one email out on January 6th. So if you're a Posh ambassador before 2017, I believe I made the video, guys. It's detailed. Everything's right. Then they sent it out on the 6th. And then the next one they sent out on the 9th. So they could like split it up half and half. And that was for that Fidelity.
Okay.
So if you opted in on the first email because you're a Posh ambassador in good standing, then Posh sent another email saying, be on the lookout for a third-party email from Fidelity. Then Fidelity
got that.
Hey, Poshmark is doing an IPO.
Right.
Blah, 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 long email. Then they sent another one so you could set it up. So once you go in and do that one, it does say that you cannot purchase less than 10 stocks. You cannot purchase more than 150 of the stocks. And their price ranges between $35 and $39. But they don't have to offer you. So say, for example, you want to do 100. So you put in your little application, you want 100. They don't have to offer you 100. They can offer you anywhere between 10 and 100, or they can offer you. So they don't have to offer them to you, but they are trying, for anyone who is interested. And that's most companies, not just Poshmark. If you're interested in the IPO, they do try to offer what they have available. But you have to think about there are only so many available. And so as they start to offer and they get to you, they've run out, they don't have anything to offer you. So you may only want 10, but what about all the people, that kind of get it before and pay? That's also another important thing. They sold out. So it's kind of like selling out of something. So you may not be offered any because they may be all gone.
Oh, okay. So that cleared that up now, didn't it? So basically, it's just kind of really and truly, it's just kind of up to them in a way.
And who
is willing to pay the most for the stock. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Correct.
It comes down to those coins.
Right. Because if they're only 1,000, which is not, it's maybe more than that. But for example, if there are only 1,000 stocks available and 2,000 people want at least one, half of them aren't getting any because they're gonna run out. So
right. That's true.
So it kind of works like that.
So the date has passed, because Maria was asking, has the sign up date passed? Hey Terry. Thanks
the sign up date so we have to be specific. Did you already opt in? Because if you already opted in and you got that email from Fidelity, or even if you got that second email from Posh, but you haven't seen the email from Fidelity, I would suggest you go into your spam folder and look for it, because it's coming from a certain email. I put that in the video as well that I already dropped this weekend. Definitely check that out. I will see if I can pull it up. But if you are getting your email sent to a spam, you may have just had it sent to spam. So if you got that second email from Poshmark after you opted in, you should be looking out now for an email from Fidelity. And the reason that is important is because today is the 11th. You have to go in and fill out that little application. It's not hard, it's not difficult. I walk you through it and I show screenshots on the screen. And the other video I made is called like Poshmark IPO steps. And then you want to put your number of stocks that you want, anywhere from 10 to 150. And then you have to wait until the 13th because you can change it between now and the 12th. But then on the 13th, it's going to lock you into the number that you pick. I suggest you just do it once and don't change it. But you also have to fund your Fidelity account, which is so important. If you don't set up a way to put money into your Fidelity account, it will not be there for you to purchase the stocks. And you have to purchase within 48 hours of them offering the stock to you, which means you also have to go into your Fidelity and check it when it's ready. All the steps are there. I did all the pre-steps for you on the video. I couldn't do the post steps because it's not open and ready to do yet. But as soon as those are open, I'll make a secondary video so you guys can follow those steps along as well. But for right now, getting your Fidelity brokerage account open, do remember, if you have a Fidelity retirement account, that is not the same thing. You need a Fidelity brokerage account and then get it connected so you can fund it, because that takes several business days to get it funded. And the minimum, the minimum amount of money that you're going to need to have is $400. Technically, it's $399 because the highest the stock price will be, they're estimating is $39. And if you're required to buy a minimum of 10, that's $399. So you got to have that amount in your brokerage account so you can go in and purchase the stocks once they're offered. So definitely keep that in mind. That is so important. If you ladies have any other questions in the comments, sorry guys, if you have any other questions, put them in the comment box. Rhonda is great at catching those. But I do want to give you guys, those of you who didn't get to opt in and have to wait to purchase them just on the open market, that is not a problem. You will still be able to do that. So I want to go over some tips and some important things about, one, the resale market, and then we'll go over 5 tips about Poshmark itself. So one of the fun facts is from the ThreadUp trend report, because whether you sell on ThreadUp or not, whether you like ThreadUp or not, their trend report is on point. I suggest you take a look at it periodically just to see where things are going, because they report on secondhand merchandise, secondhand goods, and kind of where this industry is going. So according to their report, reselling is expected to grow from $7 billion in 2019 to $37 billion in 2025.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing that, and we can already see the growth in reselling. I mean, when you go online and when you go, I'm going to tell you specifically how you can tell also, is that now that Goodwill and some thrift stores have kind of, the light bulb came on. And you can tell that the prices have elevated as you go into these shops, because where you might have seen this particular item for $2 or $3, now that particular item has gone up to $10, $15 or $20, because now some of them even are hiring resellers to work in these places. And so the resellers that have knowledge of these of the tags know, well, this is this and this is this was, so they're catching on to that trend because it's growing day by day, and those are one of the biggest clues, because I see it all the time when people go in and be like, what? How am I? What? Well, that's because the reselling market has grown exponentially. And people are just like cluing into, oh, I can sell clothes. Oh, I can make some money doing clothes. So now, I was just in the dollar store even the other day, and this guy came in and said, oh, do you have such and such and such a? So, I was checking out and I heard him because he was talking so loud. But then the minute he said reseller, my antenna's like, what? What he said? And he was like, well, we have all these resellers who come in here and they just buy up all this stuff. And I was like, oh, don't be hating on the reseller, boo. But, it's true. I mean,
true.
we as resellers, I go in there and I buy a lot of things, that I use in my business. But he was looking for something particular, and a reseller probably did come in and wipe that shelf clean.
Yes.
So, I'm just saying that it has grown so much. Even the dollar store is going to be like, okay, it's going to have to be more than $1 now.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. But yes, I can understand that, because they also want a piece of that $37 billion industry. I mean, that's 5 years from now. That's less than 5 years from now, because we're already into January.
Right.
That's looking for that additional 30, from 7 to 37. That is a humongous. So there's room for all of us. So if you couldn't get in on the IPO, because you missed it, like Brittany was saying, Diana was saying, they missed it. It's okay. It will come out on the open market. You still need a brokerage account. I still recommend Fidelity. So get that set up now so you're ready. So when it hits the market, you can just purchase. So a couple of the other things that are great tips. I'm looking down because I wrote notes, guys, because I can't remember everything.
And I'm just reading my notes.
So Posh's ticker symbol, Poshmark's ticker symbol is going to be Posh. POSH. All of the companies out there have letters that identify them. I believe like Amazon is AMZ and all that fun stuff. So it's POSH. It's something we're very familiar with. We use it all the time. That is going to be their ticker symbol that they applied for. So they currently have, as of September 30th of 2019, they had 31.7 million active users. That is so important, because an active user they define in their what's the word? It's not manuscript. I just read prospectus. So in the prospectus, which was almost 300 pages, they put that they have 31.7 million active users. That means the user has logged in at least once in the last 12 months. That was from September 30th, 2019 to September, of course, 2018. That's the year that they were using when they applied to be to have this IPO and to trade on the open market. Something else that's really interesting is they had 6.2 million active buyers on the app. That means this person bought at least one thing in the last 12 months, again, from September 30th, 2019 to September 2018, going backwards. And then as of the same September 30th, 2019, they had 201 million items on sale. That one, ooh, I don't know about that one, because you have to remember, they count the number of people as active users who logged in the last 12 months. But the number of items for sale, you have to remember there are people who haven't used the app, never logged back in after they listed stuff for sale. So that number is probably a little bit lower, because they are there for sale, but if you buy them, no one's going to ship them because no one ever logged back into that account. So that's something that we don't really have a number on.
Right.
They probably should have used the active people things as the appropriate number. But let's be real, when you're applying for something and you want something and they don't give you a strict guideline, what do? We all human. We try to make our better than we are. So they
we gotta zhuzh it up, honey.
Right. I can't be mad at them for trying to
I'm not mad at them either. So you do what you gotta do, boo.
And then lastly, the fifth thing is 80% of the users on Poshmark fall into the millennial or Gen Z generation. So it's kind of, I think that's 45 and under. I don't know how far under the Gen Zs go, but it's that age group are using and buying on Poshmark. So that's important if you're a seller, that's kind of like your target market. We already know the majority of people on there are also women. So now we kind of know the age range of those women. So that's good to know if you're selling something. So that's a good reseller tip. And to know that is a good place to kind of get a majority of the people who have income.
Right.
So that is also a great fact for you to know, that Poshmark is going to continue to grow past these 9 years, and your stock price will go up, because that is where you make your money in your portfolio.
Yes, that's what it's all about, honey. Well, Maggie W in the comments says how to confirm your indication of interest?
Yes, very good question. So again, just check out the video I pre-recorded, because just in case this doesn't answer, because you might be, depending on what part of the process you're in,
Right.
so I'm about to give you right now may not answer, but I'll walk you through a step-by-step in the video previous to this one that I dropped this weekend as I did it myself, and you can see the screenshots and what order they go in. But when you get that second email from Fidelity with your name and it says Poshmark is doing the IPO, when you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a blue button that says click here. You click there, and that's where you go in and do your application. And then it'll go through the steps and it'll ask you like how many you want to do. Again, I would suggest you create your brokerage account at fidelity.com, just separate, then go in and click that link, because it'll be an easier transition than if you try to create your Fidelity brokerage account through that link. So that's my pro tip for today. Create your brokerage account separately on fidelity.com, and then go in and click the blue button at the bottom of the Fidelity link to opt in for the IPO and set your number of stocks that you want to get. And again, I walk you through everything in that previous video so you can see, okay, this is what it looks like. This is what I'm looking for, because it was a little complex and I was confused, and I do this. So I was like, I know other people are confused.
So if you were confused.
Yeah, if I was confused, I was like, I know people who ain't never bought a stock a day in their life don't know what's happening right now. So I was like, let me just make this video to help out, because it wasn't as simple or user-friendly as I was hoping it would be. So hopefully the video will help. And like I said, it does walk you through step by step, and it shows you what each little box looks like, where you're supposed to put what, so you can kind of put that in. Hopefully the answer I just gave you helps. But again, if not, the video is there that you can pause, rewind, stop, check it again. Keep go in and you click the bottom of that email and you link your brokerage account. You have to wait for another email. So don't freak out when you're like, oh my God, it didn't go to the next page. It's because you're waiting for another email that looks exactly like the first email, which was very confusing too. I was like, but I already got this email. It looks exactly the same, but when you go to click here again, it will take you to the next step. So you have to wait. I had to wait a couple hours. It didn't come right away. So you want to do it as soon as possible, because again, it takes a little bit to fund your account. And it's only business days. Fidelity doesn't do that off business day thing, like
Monday through Friday.
Right. And you have to have everything set and ready to go by February 19th. That is next Tuesday. So 8 days from today. So the sooner.
January 19th?
Yes, ma'am. Next Tuesday.
I was like, we're going to be in February already. I'm behind. I done missed some brunch with divas. I done missed Valentine.
Yeah.
But I got you. January 19th, you must be ready, prepared, and have all your ducks in a row if possible.
You do. And that's why I made the video. That's why we're talking about this today on the first Swagslayer Talk, episode 1, season 1. Just to make sure. And then I will come on Wednesday to give an update if I see anything different or if there's another step, because Wednesday is the 13th where everything is like locked in and then you're waiting to get more information. So I'll just come and give a brief recap to see if I got any more information or if there's another step, because right now we can't go any further until the 13th. So you want to make sure everything done up into this point. So I think that was all on the stock. Did you want to go over the other 5 tips?
Yeah, let's do that, because I was kind of just looking over that a moment ago. Well, look, I was looking over. Okay. So I think that, you and I kind of already had this discussion though, but for those who just don't know about the Poshmark is not planning on paying a dividend. So maybe we can just kind of, touch on that issue just in case someone doesn't, need some clarification.
Yes. So a dividend is technically a company who holds a stock that you own pays you either monthly, quarterly, annually, or examples, and they send you a percentage of their profit for that time frame. So Poshmark is not going to do that. And it's kind of smart for them not to do that, because they probably need to hold on as much capital as they possibly can, because new and still growing. If they're paying it out to us, that means it's going to shrink their growth, and we don't want them to shrink back. They could change that in the future and then offer a dividend. But for right now, it's smart for them to be such a young and new company trying to grow to the next level to not pay out a dividend.
Okay. Well, that's smart. I guess, in the whole scheme of things, that seeing as how they are still going, they've taken some major losses. And so that would be definitely a smart thing for them to do, not to pay out any dividends, because at this point in time, their loss, I think, was it this year, was greater than it was last year. I mean, or in 2019, I think it was.
Right. I think 2019 and I really want to say it was 2017 and 2018, because I think this 2019 was the first year they actually made a profit.
Okay.
And that's because they cut back on their marketing, because they really needed to market during the pandemic, because all of us was like, hey, you want to go to Poshmark?
Right.
We need to make sales. They cut back their marketing budget, and I
did notice that those commercials had kind of leveled off some, because I just saw one like the other day that I haven't seen one in forever. When I first started, I was seeing them like this, they were always popping up. And then for a while I didn't see it, and now I just saw one the other day. I was like, oh, okay, we're back with this. Okay. Yeah. Because I had not seen it in a while. Well, I was just reading this about, the COVID and deliveries, and, we've, child, if I get one more email or one more thing about your delivery is going to be late, your delivery is delayed, I'm just like, you know what? Stop telling me that. I want to see, I just want the package to go from here to there. That's all I'm asking. But, I think due to the pandemic, it changed a lot of things as far as the post office, UPS, whoever you use. But definitely the post office, because they were just so tremendously backed up.
They were.
And just yesterday, my jacket that I sold before Christmas. Oh. Let me say that again. Before Christmas is just now tracking again. Wow. And I reached out to the customer, and I was like, I deeply apologize. Right. USPS is behind. Now it starts to track. I will be watching it, because I do watch my packages. But I just can't believe it. So, I mean, the COVID has impacted so much for, us resellers.
It has. And for everyone, everywhere. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, where we would get packages and be like, okay, you'll get it in a few days. What time is it?
I've had customers wait a month, a whole month to get.
I'm like, by the time they get that jacket, child, they won't need that jacket. They won't need the jacket. And I hate it, because you never know if people have bought for themselves or a relative or friend or whatever. And so now here it is. You're like, oh, well, it's happy, Merry.
Right. Merry Happy New Year.
Merry Happy New Year.
Valentine's Day.
Right. And I think that, it's just crazy, and it's just nothing that we can do except, give the best customer service to our customers, stay in touch with them, let them know. I see that, and when they get it, or right before they get it, I always go in and try to say, I see you'll be receiving your package tomorrow. Yeah. And I hope that everything runs smoothly with it, or something, whatever. I'd say something, honey, just to, try to smooth it over.
And that's great customer service. Yeah.
Yeah, because and they know that it's beyond my control.
They do.
They know that. But it's always nice to go in and kind of say something to make them feel better. But so
I do want to point out, Terry was confirming that most new companies do not pay dividends. Yes. So for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense, though. I think that makes sense if it's a new company. And, Poshmark technically is a new company.
It is.
Still. I mean, it's a baby. It's just, it's toddler right now. It's toddler. So, that definitely makes sense, because how are you going to, bring in your profits, your money and things if you're paying, a gazillion of us.
Yes. And then also remember, so many of us don't treat ourselves like we're a business, and we should. We should be paying ourselves first before we pay anything else. And so not just Poshmark, but companies, that's what they do. They make sure they build up their capital, because when you have so much capital, there's so many other things you could do. You have so many other opportunities, and money begets money, which just means money makes money, and your money will work harder for you than you ever will for it. So it is smart to keep your money, with you. So the same thing for yourself as an individual, whether you resell part-time, full-time, or you're just watching this because you don't have anything else to do and you don't even resell and you just bring in income from somewhere else. Pay yourself first and then pay everyone else.
Well, now I found this interesting. Well, now I'm going to just touch on one thing before I touch on this next thing, is that I know that this is probably something that it would be a Chandra question. I mean, a Chandra issue, because for me, I mean, my whole setup is probably completely different from, some like yours or Terry's or whatever, because, I'm single. So, I pay all my bills. Not that I have a lot, but then I still have to have the issue of how to really pay myself. But what and I don't know, maybe I am paying myself because I let my money sit there in Poshmark until I need it to buy supplies or source or things like that. So I don't know if that's the same thing, but, then the other money that I get from not Poshmark, but from my other business, then, I'd use to, if I have to use it to pay a bill or something, but then, I don't really do that much for myself in the first place. Like I really should do more for me. But,
yes, I agree.
But I'm just wondering, am I paying myself or what? I just get confused by it sometimes.
The way I do it is when I pay myself is I do a certain percentage that I like to invest. Some people pay themselves and they spend it on hair, nails, movies, and whatever they like. But you should be getting some sort of value. I believe the value you should get is your money growing more money, because at some point you do want to be able not to work and know that all your bills are always paid. There's always grocery on the table, and you can still enjoy the same lifestyle that you have now. So that's why I invest mine. So I pull my money out first, and then I invest it. Of course, I have an emergency fund that too, but I don't count that as the pay myself first. So I pay myself first, then into my emergency fund, then it's priorities like mortgage, lights, water, car insurance, car payment, those things. Then like any extras like tutoring for my little one and all that stuff. And so they go in orders of priority, but I'm always the first priority. And then
okay.
Yes.
Well, so maybe I need to just kind of restructure that a little bit, because, from my first source of income, that's where I pay for the roof over my head.
Yes.
And lucky for me, I don't really have any bills that trickle down major after that, except phone and this stupid cable and stuff, Yes. But other than that, I do try to do stuff for myself. But I now that I'm getting into the investment thing, then I think that that's what I should do, is just take some money and put it over here investing. And then, if I want to do something for myself or whatever, then I can do that. But I just kind of get confused with stuff like that. And, I don't know why, because when I did nails for, I did nails for over 25 plus years, child. Well, I think that I got so used to that daily money, because I would put the biggest portion of it in the bank. My tip money was separate. That paid for my gas and lunch if I wanted to eat out, or, go to a little happy hour or whatever the case may be, do all these things I wanted to do. So that's what I just call my spending money. But, my major money that I made for the service, that would go into my bank to take care of whatever bills, I had. Because at the time I had, another individual who I split things with.
Yes.
So now that I'm just by myself, I guess I haven't haven't split everything like I should. So good. I'm going to do that. But getting back to the point at hand, I was reading here where it said fraud has been a problem with Poshmark. And I was just like, oh, not fraud. Because I'm just thinking, like, how is this possible? But here it just says that they've had stolen credit card numbers. How did y'all get stolen credit card numbers? How did that happen? You know,
I think that's with any online,
yeah,
anybody who works technically digitally, if that makes sense. So any technology company, there's always a hacker. Think about when banks first opened.
mm-hmm.
There was people robbing banks left and right because
Yeah,
that was the new place to rob.
right,
When you lived on a boat, there were pirates everywhere, so that's
exactly.
part of just the everyday regular. Amazon, all of them have been victim to a hacker getting in and getting personal information. So that's just Poshmark being a little younger. You only have so much money, you can only pay for so much protection. As
Mm-hmm.
they'll have higher technology, but let's be real, they'll be higher in robberies. So
Yeah.
that is always
I mean,
going to
it just, and I guess that's true. I mean, because, how many times have we heard about companies being hacked into? And, for a while there, it seemed like every day something
yeah,
had been hacked. And I'm just like, well, dude, where's your security? How much money do y'all have? Why is this?
right.
I always go back to the money. What are you doing with your money that you're getting hacked this way? But I just think that no one is. I mean, any of us that could happen to any of us. Knock on wood that happens to none of us. But it's a possibility. And so for a larger company who's open and deals so much with other resellers, other people, Sally Ann out there on the streets, on the Poshmark streets, who are just shopping and, trying to think that Poshmark is a good lick, so to speak, hood language, for a lick means target. So means target. But, I just think that the merchant fraud, the users who have purchased and closed bank accounts or have insufficient funds. I mean, I've come across that where the funds aren't available. Boo, why are you shopping when your funds are not available? You knew them funds weren't available when you start shopping.
We all been there.
Yeah. So I just think that that's just one of the things
that's part of doing business.
Yeah, it's just a part of doing business. But just this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about good customer service, because that is what Poshmark depends on from, and looks for us to do and give is good customer service.
Correct.
And, I mean, I can't tell you how many stories I've heard, and even myself, but, these are stories that you tell amongst other resellers. That, did you know so-and-so, and it had the nerve to, and what is it? But, all in all, even though I might say all that, like, where they do that at? But, I'm telling that customer, oh, sure, great. How can I help you? Because I had the incident. I don't know if I shared it with you, but I sent out a blouse. The lady ordered the blouse, sent it out. Now, I normally wash everything when I get it, unless it's new with tags. But I had washed it, packaged it up, did all the things, preliminary things. Well, when I did not notice that there was a stain on the shirt. And when she got it, she gave me 2 stars. So I was like, oh, 2 stars.
Like, yes. Like, what happened?
I'm like, what had happened was, so I read what she said. She said it was a stain. I reached out to her and I said, oh my God, I am so sorry. I never, ever sent out anything like that. And I don't. I mean, you could go back to my previous ratings. And I said, how can I assist? How can I make this right? You can look at my closet and you can, pick out something and I will send it to you. Because I was just horrified that I sent out something like that and missed that stain. And she was very nice. She was like, oh, thank you so much for responding. I so appreciate it. She didn't even think I would respond. She thought I was just going on.
Yes.
And so she picked out something and asked me, would that be fine? I'm like, that's fine. I'm shipping that out to her today. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is how customer service should be. Now,
Good.
I'm
Yeah.
not that kind of person that would have just went on by that and been like, oh, well, it's two. I got I got this, I got that. I'm not worried about it. No,
Right.
because
Right.
this is my what do you call it? My reputation.
It is. Yep.
And I want to be known for giving good customer service.
You do.
And and when I worked in customer service, I gave the best I could give. Doing nails is partly customer service, psychologist,
Yes.
all this kind of thing.
Yes, you are.
So I just wanted to make sure that she was satisfied, and Poshmark looks to us to do that.
They do. They do.
And just like here, they want the customer to have a positive customer experience. They want us to offer items that are on trend and good quality.
Yeah.
And he said that Poshmark has received complaints from a small portion of users about issues like failure to receive items purchased or misrepresented items.
Yeah.
Now I could talk about that for plus size forever.
Right. And I think that's also part of doing business, because like you said, like, you're a great seller. You look over everything, but we're also human. So we make mistakes. So when we do make mistakes, we try to address them. So yes, somebody is going to complain, and you can't make someone 100% happy 100% of the time. So if there were no negative feedback, I would say that they're lying and just they're not telling anybody. That's part of life, So that is part of doing business. But I like that they're open about it, and that we can be open about it too, because I've been that customer where I sent somebody an offer and my card declined, and they were like, you didn't pay for it. And I was like, what do you mean? This when I was new to Poshmark. I was like, but I did pay for it. They were like, no. And what I realized is my card had expired, so I had to put a new card on file. And so I fixed it. Everything was fine. But yeah, I've been that customer. So I know somebody else was talking smack about me. Like, why they shopping for stuff when they ain't got no money?
It's probably me. I'm like, what she shopping? She knows she didn't have no.
Right.
Well, what do you think about the fees? Because I was, in reading this article, they were like, Poshmark may have to lower its fees now. In the chat, because they may lose resellers, or they may not be able to get new resellers because of the current seller fees.
And we'll have to see. And again, I did not tell you guys the Slayers, but the article that we're reading from is in the description box below. So you can also read it at your leisure. It's just a market something. The market report, I think it's called. Lord have mercy.
It's just Poshmark IPO and market.
Yeah. So if you want to Google Market Watch Poshmark, or if you just want to look at the link in the description, that's the article we're referring to. I don't know. Let me tell you, there are so many other platforms that have lower fees, but I am also the person that deals with the customer the most. I enjoy posting up the items and shipping the items out.
Yeah.
My personality, not even my personality, my limited time, I don't have time to be talking to the customer all the time. So if they have a question on Poshmark, they can just reach out to Poshmark, and someone who gets paid to sit there for 8 hours can respond to them, especially about things that don't have anything to do with my specific item. Now, if they have a question about my specific item, of course, I'm going to answer that. But when they just want to know, basic things about the platform, I really enjoy that Posh takes care of that. And if my item gets lost, I don't have to hunt it down. I don't have to go to USPS. Poshmark also takes care of that. They hunt it down. They figure out the insurance. They do that. So I don't mind paying them what we pay. Now, what would bother me is if it went up, because it's going to be cutting into the way I set up my business model, because I set up my business model based on Poshmark and their fees, because that's where I started. So then every place else that I trickle down to, I can keep that same business model and be fine because their fees are lower. And so I actually offer free shipping on all the other sites that I'm on that allows me to offer free shipping, because I based everything on the amount that Posh charges. So if you charge less on your platform, I can offer the customer free shipping and still make my ROI, which is my return on investment.
Right.
So,
right. And so, I do that. I factor everything in, because I'm going to tell you, when I first started, honey, I was just all willy-nilly. And and then I realized that Poshmark has different fees for different items.
For different price points.
Price points. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold up. let me go back and restructure that. So now, you know, I just go in and I can really still offer free shipping on a lot of things. It's particularly if I have nothing invested.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, so if it was a porch pickup or, you know, which, you know, y'all know I love a good old porch pickup, but any type of thing that I've gotten for free, I will still go ahead and offer a decent price, factor in fees, but I can afford to offer free shipping. So I'm good with that. But now if I've, you know, done my arbitrage shopping, then that's a whole nother issue.
Oh yeah.
You know, I still factor in all those fees. It doesn't matter if I got it for $3. I paid $3 for it.
Yes.
You know, so I'm still going to factor in all the fees and all this, that, and the other. Maybe, you know, give a little something on shipping, but long as it comes out to be, you know, triple, quadruple the amount that I pay for it.
Right. As long as your ROI is correct. And for you slayers who may not be familiar, the price point fee difference is if your item sells for $15 or less, then Poshmark charges you a fee of, I believe it's $2.95.
Yes.
If your item sells for $15 or more, then you pay 20% of the selling price. Just in case you slayers were not aware, that is how it works. And then another thing, while we're on the point of fees and pricing, I am still waiting to see when Poshmark is going to change their shipping fee, if they are, because, you know, every year USPS goes up on their shipping prices. I've already seen where they're changed, you know, in other places. I have not seen Poshmark do that. I actually need to go back through my YouTube videos and see when I posted the last one, when they changed their fee, and then just see if it stays on trend, if they do it about the same time every year. So I need to take a look at that. But the fees don't actually change for USPS until January 21st, I believe. If that's incorrect, someone let me know in the comments, but I believe it's January 21st that the fees will go up for 2021.
I think that sounds about right, but I'd have to double check that myself because I for some reason I do think that that's right. But you know, I mean, they have to grow and they have to do things to keep up as well. So, I mean, I think that this is the point where you look and you say, okay, well, for me, Poshmark is bae because that's where I started. You know, so Poshmark is bae because really and truly, I don't have to do a lot of work. You know, I mean, you know, I list it, you know, somebody likes it, buys it, make an offer, buy it, you know, without a haggle or whatever, pack that girl up, have somebody pick it up, and I'm done.
Like,
you know, you holla, you know. But, you know, I mean, so it's bae for me. But, you know, the same thing, you know, I sell on Mercari, which I'm kind of in between now. I'm thinking about, you know, not selling over there right now, or I'm not sure what I want to do with it. But, you know, I think that this is where you just expand to other platforms.
You cross list.
Yeah.
And as soon as I hire myself a cross lister, I'll be doing a lot less work.
Yes. And I'm going to get back to that. But, you know, but I just need to really figure out what other platform I want to sell on. I'm just kind of between, you know, these other two things. And y'all know how I feel about eBay because, oh, my head would start hurting right then when I mentioned it. But
even with not Poshmark, because, you know, I use List Perfectly. Of course, if y'all want 30% off, perfectly use promo code Swagslayer or use the link in the bio. Promo code is still Swagslayer. But I love List Perfectly because I think you get 10 platforms, 9 platforms. I always get kind of confused. I'm only so it must be 9 because I want 8 of them. And the thing I love about it is it's so easy. So if you don't want to be on eBay, there are other places you could be.
Yeah. Well, and I loved List Perfectly when I had it. The reason I stopped using it is because I wanted to take the time to go ahead and revamp my entire closet. I wanted to, you know, get rid of stuff that's been on there too long and add some new, you know, merchandise and things like that. And for me, it was the fact that I felt like I didn't need like the business account. I think that's the 49. Because I have such a small closet, which I'm good with, but the 29 would probably serve me better because all I'm doing is hitting that button just,
Yeah.
let it go where it needs to
That's
go.
true. It depends on what you have and what's going on, which plan you need. I
Right.
people, if you're on eBay, definitely at least get the business plan. I have the pro plan, but it's a little more pricey. You don't have to have the pro plan to be on eBay. So I always recommend the business plan. But another thing is, I didn't relist. I was like, nobody got time for that. I could be listing something new. But then when I got List Perfectly, now I relist because I knew there were
Oh, I
benefits to
loved it.
relisting.
I
Yeah.
love when I could use it to relist, because I actually did. It actually worked for me to relist
Yes.
some of these items, and then I could see where it was helping to me to get rid of some of the stale inventory that I had.
Yes.
But I also still take, I still use that copy feature for what old stuff that I have.
Yeah.
And I'll still go ahead and do that sometimes. But that's the reason why I think that I'm going to go ahead and get it back, because I can relist and I can list to the other platforms. So if I'm going to, whichever one I'm going to do, and I heard a tip today. I know we have gotten so far off this article.
It's okay. We're going to bring it back. And then I'm going to answer Ashley's question in a second.
But I was on Trish's live this morning where she was talking whoever she was speaking with.
I don't remember her name, but I saw it.
Yeah, and they were talking about List Perfectly and Vendu and things like that, and I was just like, okay, well, yeah, Vendu. I did try Vendu, and I wasn't a fan. But she was talking about listing to eBay first, and then cross listing to all the other platforms.
And that's because they ask for so much information.
Yeah, girl, blood type. Here it is.
Right. So you might as well do that one first and get it out the way.
And for some reason, I don't know what, but that made so much sense to me when she said that, because I thought, okay, well, I guess if you go ahead and you spill all your guts over here on eBay, then all you have to do is take that, click, and go over here and do that. I was like, okay, well, this makes sense, but not that I still want to go through all the rigmarole of doing it. But I guess once you do it, I guess it's done.
Yes, ma'am.
Until you add something new.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I knew the benefit of relisting, but I just was like, I don't have time for that. I'm gonna just only list new things. So I didn't. And every now and then when I would relist, like, I would see the item sell, but I was like, it's wasting so much time. So I can only pick one or the other. But now that I use List Perfectly, again, promo code Swagslayer, 30% off. I can do both. I don't have to pick between one or the other. So I sell more. So yes, I may have to pay to invest in myself, in my business, but I make more money because of it. So let me answer Ashley's questions real quick. So A&B Consignment is asking, do either of us sell on Facebook Marketplace? I have made one sale on Facebook Marketplace. It was a Free People sweater. I shipped it out. It was so easy. I used their shipping label. That's when the shipping labels were free for me and the buyer. So they didn't have to, I don't think she paid shipping, if I remember correctly. I do have other items on Facebook Marketplace. I just haven't sold them yet. What ends up happening is I post them on Facebook Marketplace and then I end up selling them somewhere else. So I have to take them off. So some point I'll get in this rhythm. More stuff will sell there because I won't have to keep deleting it. But I really do like Facebook Marketplace. I've heard so many good things about it. I liked Facebook Marketplace before we could ship on Facebook Marketplace. For my experience, I don't like shopping on Facebook Marketplace because it's hard to find what I'm looking for. But other people who have mastered the search on Facebook Marketplace, they find all kind of good stuff. And people are sending out, I was talking to a guy this morning. Well, I wasn't talking to him. He was talking in the class that I'm in. But anyway, he was saying he's getting like 10 sales a day on Facebook Marketplace. It went from eBay and Poshmark being his number one platform to now Facebook is now his number one platform. So I would say go for it. And especially if you're using List Perfectly or you haven't tried it, but you're going to use the code Swagslayer, cross list to List Perfectly for sure. Do you use List Perfectly at all?
Well, let me just throw my 2 cents in on that. Actually, I have sold things. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining. I have sold things on Facebook Marketplace before, actually, and I was meeting people before the COVID. I was meeting people, but I did put some things on there, and as Tiana said, They sold elsewhere. So I just last night had to take off everything. So right now I have nothing on there. As far as searching for things on there, I swear I don't know. I guess I'm just a dingleberry or
You're not the only one.
whatever. I mean I just don't know because everyone around me can find stuff on there that they want. Me, I can't even find anything. I just can't. I don't know. So maybe I'm just not putting stuff in right.
Yeah, their search thing is not the same as other platforms. So if you're not able to find it on Facebook, like I used to be an expert because I used to find all kind of stuff, but I haven't used it in so long to actually shop that I'm always like, what am I looking up, or why do I keep seeing the same thing over and over? So other people though who know what they're doing, they're finding it. So as long as you have those good keywords, the SEO, search engine optimization words in there, they're gonna find your item. So yeah, like you were saying, same problem. It sells somewhere else.
I just think it's a great. Now I sold a ton of boots on there. For when I had all these boots, I sold all of my boots through there. Like I said, I went to meet, I would meet them in the Walmart parking lot and, sold my boots then. But now, like I said, they sold the other things I had put on around Christmas time, sold on other platform on Poshmark. So, I had to take those off. I spent last night, as a matter of fact, just taking everything off. So I have nothing on there right now. And so I guess I'm going to try to put some other things on there. I really want to try something different. I have books and I have other stuff. Maybe I'll try to put some other stuff on there.
Yeah. So, mine's kind of like a hodgepodge of stuff. I have home goods and stuff that I wouldn't ship because I don't want to ship big, bulky glass, ceramic items. So those are on there along with all my, my clothing and, fashion stuff as well. So, yeah.
Well, I think that this is my issue with eBay is while we loop back around to that real quick, is that I'm not sure what to sell on eBay.
My eBay is not a hodgepodge, but it would be, except for I just have the things that I don't want to ship are the only reason they're not on there. They're on Facebook instead, because I think just like kind of like with Poshmark, people only come to your closet and buy one time. I have 1% return rate on my customer. So it's just one person coming once and like they don't circle back around ever. So it really matters if you have a store on eBay, because then they can sort through like what they're looking for. If you don't have a store, then you might want to just stick to one category because they can't sort. They have to scroll through your whole entire thing to see what you have. So that would just be my, tip for eBay. If you want to put a whole bunch of random stuff, make sure you pay the monthly fee for the store so they can sort by category. But again, I'm not the eBay expert, so maybe you shouldn't listen to me on what you should do on eBay.
Well, I don't know. I guess I want to move into, while I sell, plus size clothing on Poshmark. I want to venture out to a different platform and maybe sell some other things. I think that I'm just like not sure what those other things should be right now.
Gotcha.
I just don't know. But
that is true. And it's kind of tricky right now too to kind of figure that out. Terry was saying the same thing was happening to her. And then A&B Consignment, Ashley was saying she can't find anything either, but her husband needs to sell on there, but that would be 4 platforms. Well, actually, I'm on 8 platforms total, and it's just me. Facebook is one of them. I'm on every platform This Perfectly has except for Etsy. So,
and you'll be on there soon, won't you?
My daughter will actually be on Etsy, but through my account, because she's tie-dyeing and all kind of fun stuff. She's trying to finish this book that she was supposed to finish during Christmas break, but at the same time she wanted to be on break, so she didn't finish the book. But I guess her book will come out around the time my book will come out.
That's what I meant. Your book coming out on Etsy. You'll be putting it over there, right? What?
No, I'm gonna just put it on my website only. I'm not trying to advertise Etsy. Let's be real. But whatever. Are there 3 more points for the Poshmark in the article, or are there just 2?
Well, actually, we're just down to really the last one, which is actually Poshmark is an emerging growth company, which has fewer disclosure requirements.
Yes. And that is a good one to know for Poshmark growing. So think about this, Slayers. on eBay, you have to like give all your information. You have to have a credit card. Like you have to have all of that stuff to buy on eBay. You have to have PayPal, which then PayPal requires whatever. You basically have to be 18 and up to shop on all of the other platforms, not on Poshmark. You can use any form of payment, Google Pay, Apple Pay. So if your child is connected to your Google Pay, Apple Pay on their phone, they can buy something. If they get a gift card for their birthday, holiday, graduation, whatever, they can buy something. They don't have to jump through all of these steps that they have to go through on all the other platforms. So it makes it easier for them to purchase. And who's going to purchase? The people with extra money. That's always somebody's child, right? So that is also a great thing. The barrier of entry is a lot lower for a buyer on Poshmark. So just know that as we continue to grow toward that $37 billion at 2025, that other people who are shopping who have a less barrier to buy are going to want to come to a place that they don't have to give, their firstborn and a blood sample just to buy something secondhand. So that's a really awesome thing about Poshmark. So I hope today's Swagslayer talk about the Poshmark IPO brought you guys some good information. Again, if you need the steps on how to set up and be ready to purchase, go ahead and head over to the last video I did. It just says Poshmark IPO steps, and you can follow those steps step by step to make sure you're set up and ready to go, that your Fidelity account is funded. So when they offer you the stocks that you say you want to have, either between 10 and 150, you can be ready to hit the buy button and purchase those and add those to your portfolio. Of course, yes. Do not hesitate to leave them in the chat not the chat, leave them in the comments watching the replay, and I always come in, I read those comments and I answer. Don't forget to slay the subscription bell and the thumbs up button. Thank you so much for coming to hang out and get all this good information. And then we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will talk to you later, Slayers. Bye.